Welcome to Mims Puong English. I am so happy you are here today, because this video is special. This is not just English practice. This is your daily conversation training to speak English like a native. If you stay with me until the end, you will have 1 full hour of listening, repeating, and practicing English that feels natural, fun, and real. This is not boring grammar. This is not long textbook reading. This is real English. The English you need every day when you talk to a friend, order food, go shopping, travel, or chat online. And the best way to learn is shadowing. That means you listen to me and repeat after me. You copy my speed, my sound, my stress, and my intonation. Ready? Let's begin. Let's start with greetings. Simple, natural, everyday greetings that native speakers use. I say, "Hi, how are you?" You say, "Hi, how are you?" I say, "I'm good, thanks. How about you?" You say, "I'm good, thanks. How about you?" I say, "I'm doing great." You say, "I'm doing great." I say, "It's nice to see you." You say, "It's nice to see you." I say, "Long time no see." You say, "Long time no see." Very good. These are short and easy, but they make your English sound warm and friendly. Now let's practice meeting someone new. I say, "Hi, my name is Alex. What's your name?" You say, "Hi, my name is Alex. What's your name?" I say, "Nice to meet you." You say, "Nice to meet you." I say, "Where are you from?" You say, "Where are you from?" I say, "I'm from Vietnam." You say, "I'm from Vietnam." I say, "Oh, really? That's great." You say, "Oh, really? That's great." Notice the rhythm. It's short, quick, and friendly. When you speak this way, people feel comfortable. Now let's make it more natural. Native speakers often add small phrases. I say, "Hey, what's up?" You say, "Hey, what's up?" I say, "Not much, just relaxing." You say, "Not much, just relaxing." I say, "How's it going?" You say, "How's it going?" I say, "Pretty good." "How about you?" You say, "Pretty good." "How about you?" I say, "Same here." You say, "Same here." Great. You are starting to sound like a native speaker already. Now imagine you are at a coffee shop. You meet a friend. Let's practice a short dialogue. I say, "Hey, Sarah, good to see you." You say, "Hey, Sarah, good to see you." I say, "Hi, it's been a while." You say, "Hi, it's been a while." I say, "Yeah, how have you been?" You say, "Yeah, how have you been?" I say, "I've been busy, but good." You say, "I've been busy, but good." I say, "That's nice. Want to grab a coffee?" You say, "That's nice. Want to grab a coffee?" I say, "Sure. Let's go." You say, "Sure. Let's go." This is the type of English that happens every day. The more you shadow, the more natural it feels. Now let's practice polite English. Politeness makes your English sound beautiful. I say, "Excuse me, Could you help me? You say, excuse me? Could you help me? I say, thank you so much. You say, thank you so much. I say, you're welcome. You say, you're welcome. I say, sorry. I didn't understand. You say, sorry. I didn't understand. I say, could you repeat that? Please. You say, could you repeat that? Please. Excellent. These sentences will help you in any situation. Let's do one quick challenge. I will speak a little faster. You try to keep up. I say, hi, how's it going? You say, hi, how's it going? I say, pretty good. How about you? You say, pretty good. How about you? I say, not bad. Just busy with work. You say, not bad. Just busy with work. I say, yeah, I know what you mean. You say, yeah, I know what you mean. Well done. Even with speed, you can keep up. This is how your fluency grows. Remember, practice every day. Even just 10 minutes of shadowing will change your English in a few weeks. If you're enjoying this practice, please give this video a like. It really helps the channel grow and reach more learners like you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Miss Puong English for more lessons like this. Let's finish part 1 with a short reflection. Why do we practice shadowing? Because shadowing trains your brain, your tongue, and your ear at the same time. When you repeat immediately, your mouth learns to move faster. Your ear learns to hear English music, rhythm, and stress. And your brain learns to think in English. This is the secret to sounding natural. So don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry if you miss a word. Just keep going. That is the path to fluency and confidence. You practiced greetings, meeting new people, and polite expressions. Now, let's move into something everyone loves, food and shopping. These are situations you will face often, and they are perfect for building fluency. Remember, listen, repeat, and shadow me. Don't just read the words. Say them out loud with energy. Let's start with ordering food at a restaurant. I say, hi, I'd like a table for 2. Please. You say, hi, I'd like a table for 2. Please. I say, could we sit by the window? You say, could we sit by the window? I say, can I see the menu, please? You say, can I see the menu, please? I say, what do you recommend? You say, what do you recommend? I say, I'll have the chicken, please? You say, I'll have the chicken, please? I say, can I get some water? You say, can I get some water? These are very natural sentences. They will help you anywhere in the world. Now let's practice paying the bill. I say, can we get the check? Please. You say, can we get the check? Please. I say, do you take credit cards? You say, do you take credit cards? I say, keep the change. You say, keep the change. Excellent. Very polite. Very natural. Now imagine you are at a coffee shop. I say, hi, can I get a large latte? You say, hi, can I get a large latte? I say, could I have it with soy milk? You say, Could I have it with soy milk? I say, for here or to go. You say, for here or to go. I say, to go. Please. You say, to go. Please. I say, how much is it? You say, how much is it? I say, here's $5. You say, here's $5. These are quick and easy, but they make you sound confident. Now let's practice shopping for clothes. I say, excuse me, where is the fitting room? You say, excuse me, where is the fitting room? I say, do you have this in medium size? You say, do you have this in medium size? I say, how much does this cost? You say, how much does this cost? I say, can I pay with a card? You say, can I pay with a card? I say, thank you. Have a nice day. You say, thank you. Have a nice day. Perfect. Now you can shop in English with confidence. Let's try a short shopping dialogue. I say, hi, can I help you? You say, hi, can I help you? I say, yes, I'm looking for a jacket. You say, yes, I'm looking for a jacket. I say, what size do you wear? You say, what size do you wear? I say, medium, please. You say, medium, please. I say, here you go. Would you like to try it on? You say, here you go. Would you like to try it on? I say, yes. Thank you. You say, yes. Thank you. I say, it looks great on you. You say, it looks great on you. I say, I'll take it. You say, I'll take it. Well done. That's exactly how real conversations happen. Now let's practice small talk. Small talk makes your English sound friendly and natural. I say, the weather is nice today. You say, the weather is nice today. I say, yes, it's really sunny. You say, yes, it's really sunny. I say, do you come here often? You say, do you come here often? I say, yes, I love this place. You say, yes, I love this place. I say, the food is always good. You say, the food is always good. I say, I agree. You say, I agree. Small talk helps you connect with people. It's simple, but powerful. Now let's try a speed challenge. I will say a few sentences quickly. Repeat them right after me. I say, can I get a large coffee to go? You say, can I get a large coffee to go? I say, how much does this jacket cost? You say, how much does this jacket cost? I say, can we get the check? Please. You say, can we get the check? Please. I say, it looks great on you. You say, it looks great on you. Nice work. Speed practice builds confidence. Let's pause and reflect. In English, we often use polite words like please, thank you, and excuse me. These words are small, but they make your English soft and kind. People will enjoy talking to you if you use them, so always remember, say please when you ask. Say thank you when you receive. Say sorry if you make a mistake. These 3 magic words open many doors. Now, let me ask you something. What is your favorite food to order in English? pizza, coffee, noodles, chicken, or something else? Write it in the comments below. I would love to see what you enjoy. And it's a fun way to practice writing too. Let's talk about something very important. Daily life. These are the conversations you use with friends, classmates, or colleagues every day. We will practice family, hobbies, work, and free time. Remember, listen, repeat, shadow, copy my speed, copy my rhythm, copy my energy. Let's begin with family. I say, do you have any brothers or sisters? You say, do you have any brothers or sisters? I say, yes, I have one brother. You say, yes, I have one brother. I say, I also have two sisters. You say, I also have two sisters. I say, my family is very close. You say, my family is very close. I say, we eat dinner together every night. You say, we eat dinner together every night. I say, that sounds wonderful. You say, that sounds wonderful. Great! This is how people often talk about family in a friendly way. Now let's try more sentences. I say, I live with my parents. You say, I live with my parents. I say, I live alone. You say, I live alone. I say, I'm married. You say, I'm married. I say, I have two children. You say, I have two children. I say, do you live in a big family? You say, do you live in a big family? Well done. These are simple, but very useful. Now let's talk about hobbies. I say, what do you like to do in your free time? You say, what do you like to do in your free time? I say, I like reading books. You say, I like reading books. I say, I enjoy listening to music. You say, I enjoy listening to music. I say, I love playing football. You say, I love playing football. I say, sometimes I watch movies. You say, sometimes I watch movies. I say, that sounds fun. You say, that sounds fun. Good job. Notice the natural rhythm, short, clear, friendly. Let's practice more hobbies. I say, I like cooking. You say, I like cooking. I say, I like painting. You say, I like painting. I say, I like dancing. You say, I like dancing. I say, I like swimming. You say, I like swimming. I say, what about you? You say, what about you? Perfect. Now let's practice talking about work or study. I say, what do you do? You say, what do you do? I say, I'm a teacher. You say, I'm a teacher. I say, I work in an office. You say, I work in an office. I say, I'm a student. You say, I'm a student. I say, I study English. You say, I study English. I say, that's great. You say, that's great. Excellent. Now let's try a full daily life conversation. I say, hi, how are you? You say, hi, how are you? I say, I'm good. Thanks. What about you? You say, I'm good. Thanks. What about you? I say, I'm doing well. How's your family? You say, I'm doing well. How's your family? I say, they're fine. Thank you. My brother just got a new job. You say, they're fine. Thank you. My brother just got a new job. I say, that's exciting. What do you like to do after work? You say, that's exciting. What do you like to do after work? I say, I like to cook and watch TV. You say, I like to cook and watch TV. I say, sounds relaxing. You say, sounds relaxing. This is exactly how daily life conversations happen. Now let's do a speed challenge. I will say some sentences faster. Repeat quickly after me. I say, do you have any brothers or sisters? You say, do you have any brothers or sisters? I say, I enjoy listening to music. You say, I enjoy listening to music. I say, I work in an office. You say, I work in an office. I say, what do you like to do in your free time? You say, what do you like to do in your free time? I say, my family is very close. You say, my family is very close. Excellent work. Now let's add some polite fillers words that make your English sound more natural. I say, well, I guess I like reading. You say, well, I guess I like reading. I say, actually, I enjoy cooking a lot. You say, actually, I enjoy cooking a lot. I say, I think I love swimming. You say, I think I love swimming. I say, to be honest, I don't watch much TV. You say, to be honest, I don't watch much TV. These little phrases make your English feel natural and friendly, just like native speakers. Let me ask you, what is your favorite hobby in English? Is it music, cooking, sports, or something else? Write it in the comments below. It's a great way to practice writing in English and to share with our community. Let's travel together. Travel is one of the most exciting reasons to learn English. When you travel, you need English to ask for directions, to buy tickets, and to talk about places. Today, you will practice all of this with me. Remember, shadow after me. Copy my speed. Copy my rhythm. Copy my energy. Let's start with asking for directions. I say, excuse me, where is the train station? You say, excuse me, where is the train station? I say, it's over there, next to the bank. You say, it's over there, next to the bank. I say, thank you very much. You say, thank you very much. I say, you're welcome. You say, you're welcome. Simple, polite, and clear. Now let's practice more directions. I say, how do I get to the airport? You say, how do I get to the airport? I say, go straight, then turn left. You say, go straight, then turn left. I say, it's about 10 minutes from here. You say, it's about 10 minutes from here. I say, is it far from here? You say, is it far from here? I say, no, it's very close. You say, no, it's very close. Excellent. Now let's practice transportation. I say, I need a bus ticket. You say, I need a bus ticket. I say, I'd like one train ticket, please. You say, I'd like one train ticket. Please? I say, how much is the ticket? You say, how much is the ticket? I say, the ticket is $5. You say, the ticket is $5. I say, thank you. You say, thank you. I say, here is your ticket. You say, here is your ticket. Great work! Now let's practice at the airport. I say, where is the check-in desk? You say, where is the check-in desk? I say, it's right over there. You say, it's right over there. I say, where is gate number 5? You say, where is gate number 5? I say, it's upstairs on the left. You say, it's upstairs on the left. I say, when does the flight leave? You say, when does the flight leave? I say, the flight leaves at 7 p.m. You say, the flight leaves at 7 p.m. Perfect. Now let's practice talking about places. I say, I want to visit the museum. You say, I want to visit the museum. I say, let's go to the park. You say, let's go to the park. I say, I like this restaurant. You say, I like this restaurant. I say, where is the shopping mall? You say, where is the shopping mall? I say, it's next to the cinema. You say, it's next to the cinema. Well done. Now let's put everything together in a short travel conversation. I say, excuse me, how do I get to the bus station? You say, excuse me, how do I get to the bus station? I say, go straight and then turn right. It's near the bank. You say, go straight and then turn right. It's near the bank. I say, thank you very much. You say, thank you very much. I say, you're welcome. Are you traveling today? You say, you're welcome. Are you traveling today? I say, yes. I need a ticket to the airport. You say, yes. I need a ticket to the airport. I say, the ticket is $5. You say, the ticket is $5. I say, here you are. You say, here you are. I say, thank you. Have a good trip. You say, thank you. Have a good trip. This is exactly how you can travel confidently in English. Now let's try a speed challenge. I say, excuse me, where is the train station? You say, excuse me, where is the train station? I say, how do I get to the airport? You say, how do I get to the airport? I say, I'd like one train ticket. Please? You say, I'd like one train ticket. Please? I say, when does the flight leave? You say, when does the flight leave? I say, it's upstairs on the left. You say, it's upstairs on the left. Excellent speed. Now let's add some natural phrases that make your English sound friendly. I say, could you please help me? You say, could you please help me? I say, I'm sorry. I'm not from here. You say, I'm sorry. I'm not from here. I say, no problem. Thank you anyway. You say, no problem. Thank you anyway. I say, have a safe trip. You say, have a safe trip? Perfect. Now let me ask you, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? Type your answer in the comments. Would you go to the USA, the UK, Canada, Australia, or maybe another country. I'd love to know where you dream of traveling. Let's practice English for school and work. School and work are where you speak English most often. You meet teachers, classmates, co-workers, and bosses. So let's practice step by step. Remember, listen, repeat, shadow, copy my rhythm, copy my speed, copy my energy. Let's begin at school, I say. Good morning, teacher. You say, good morning, teacher. I say, good morning, class. You say, good morning, class. I say, can I ask a question? You say, can I ask a question? I say, yes, of course. You say, yes, of course. I say, I don't understand this word. You say, I don't understand this word. I say, let me explain it to you. You say, let me explain it to you. Excellent. Now let's practice with classmates. I say, hi, do you have a pen? You say, hi, do you have a pen? I say, yes, here you are. You say, yes, here you are. I say, thank you very much. You say, thank you very much. I say, you're welcome. You say, you're welcome. I say, are you ready for the test? You say, are you ready for the test? I say, not yet. I need to study more. You say, not yet. I need to study more. Great job. Now let's move to work. I say, good morning. How are you today? You say, good morning. How are you today? I say, I'm fine. Thank you. You say, I'm fine. Thank you. I say, can you help me with this report? You say, can you help me with this report? I say, sure. No problem. You say, sure. No problem. I say, when is the meeting? You say, when is the meeting? I say, the meeting is at 2 p. You say, the meeting is at 2 p. Wonderful. Now let's practice giving opinions. I say, what do you think about this idea? You say, what do you think about this idea? I say, I think it's a good idea. You say, I think it's a good idea. I say, I'm not sure about that. You say, I'm not sure about that. I say, can we try another way? You say, can we try another way? I say, yes. Let's try. You say, yes. Let's try. Excellent. Now let's practice some polite phrases for work. I say, could you send me the file? Please. You say, could you send me the file? Please. I say, yes. I'll send it right now. You say, yes. I'll send it right now. I say, thank you for your help. You say, thank you for your help. I say, you're very welcome. You say, you're very welcome. I say, have a great day. You say, have a great day. Perfect. Now let's try a small role play. I say, good morning, Mrs. Lee. Do you have a minute? You say, good morning, Ms. Lee. Do you have a minute? I say, yes. How can I help you? You say, yes. How can I help you? I say, I don't understand this assignment. You say, I don't understand this assignment. I say, okay, let me explain it. You say, okay, let me explain it. I say, thank you so much. You say, thank you so much. I say, no problem. Keep working hard. You say, no problem. Keep working hard. Wonderful job. Now a work conversation. I say, excuse me. Can you join the meeting? You say, excuse me. Can you join the meeting? I say, yes. I'll be there in 5 minutes. You say, yes. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I say, do you have the report? You say, do you have the report? I say, yes. Here it is. You say, yes. Here it is. I say, thank you. This is very helpful. You say, thank you. This is very helpful. I say, you're welcome. Let's work together. You say, you're welcome. Let's work together. Excellent fluency. Now let's try a quick speed challenge. Shadow with me faster. I say, can I ask a question? You say, can I ask a question? I say, I don't understand this word. You say, I don't understand this word. I say, when is the meeting? You say, when is the meeting? I say, could you send me the file, please? You say, could you send me the file, please? I say, thank you for your help. You say, thank you for your help. Fantastic speed. Now let's practice a few motivational sentences you can use at school and work. I say, I believe in myself. You say, I believe in myself. I say, I can learn anything. You say, I can learn anything. I say, I will do my best. You say, I will do my best. I say, I will never give up. You say, I will never give up. Strong English, strong mindset. Now I want to hear from you. Do you use English more at school or at work? Write your answer in the comments below. I always love reading about your English journey. Let's go shopping and eat at a restaurant. Shopping and eating are everyday situations. You need to ask about prices, sizes, food, and drinks. So today,
we will practice step by step.
Remember, shadow after me. Repeat with my rhythm. Copy my energy. Let's start with shopping. I say, excuse me, how much is this shirt? You say, excuse me, how much is this shirt? I say, it's $20. You say, it's $20. I say, do you have this in size medium? You say, do you have this in size medium? I say, yes, here you are. You say, yes, here you are. I say, can I try it on? You say, can I try it on? I say, the fitting room is over there. You say, the fitting room is over there. Excellent. Now let's practice buying something. I say, I like this bag. How much is it? You say, I like this bag. How much is it? I say, it's $35. You say, it's $35. I say, okay, I'll take it. You say, okay, I'll take it. I say, would you like to pay by cash or card? You say, Would you like to pay by cash or card? I say, by card. Please. You say, by card. Please. I say, here is your receipt. You say, here is your receipt. Great job. Now let's move to the restaurant. I say, good evening. Do you have a table for two? You say, good evening. Do you have a table for two? I say, yes. Please follow me. You say, yes. Please follow me. I say, could I see the menu? Please. You say, could I see the menu? Please. I say, of course. Here it is. You say, of course. Here it is. I say, what do you recommend? You say, what do you recommend? I say, the chicken soup is very popular. You say, the chicken soup is very popular. Wonderful. Now let's order food. I say, I'd like the chicken soup. Please. You say, I'd like the chicken soup.
Please.
I say, I'd like a salad and some water. You say, I'd like a salad and some water. I say, can I have some bread? Please. You say, can I have some bread? Please. I say, sure. Anything else? You say, sure. Anything else? I say, no. That's all. Thank you. You say,
No.
that's all? Thank you. Perfect. Now let's practice during the meal. I say, excuse me, could I have some more water? You say, excuse me, could I have some more water? I say, yes. I'll bring it right away. You say, yes. I'll bring it right away. I say, the food is delicious. You say, the food is delicious. I say, I'm glad you like it. You say, I'm glad you like it. I say, could we have the bill? Please. You say, could we have the bill? Please. I say, yes. Here it is. You say, yes. Here it is. Excellent. Now let's do a short role play with shopping and eating. I say, excuse me, how much is this dress? You say, excuse me, how much is this dress? I say, it's $50. You say, it's $50. I say, okay, I'll buy it. Thank you. You say, okay, I'll buy it. Thank you. I say, good evening. Table for two. You say, good evening. Table for two. I say, yes. Please follow me. Here is the menu. You say, yes. Please follow me. Here is the menu. I say, I'd like the fish and some rice. You say, I'd like the fish and some rice. I say, sure. Anything to drink. You say, sure. Anything to drink? I say, just water. Please. You say, just water. Please. Great fluency. Now let's do a quick speed challenge. I say, how much is this shirt? You say, how much is this shirt? I say, do you have this in size medium? You say, do you have this in size medium? I say, could I see the menu? Please. You say, could I see the menu? Please. I say, what do you recommend? You say, what do you recommend? I say, could we have the bill? Please. You say, could we have the bill? Please. fantastic speed. Now let's add some polite and natural phrases. I say, "That's too expensive for me." You say, "That's too expensive for me." I say, "Do you have a cheaper one?" You say, "Do you have a cheaper one?" I say, "Everything looks delicious." You say, "Everything looks delicious." I say, "Can we share this dish?" You say, "Can we share this dish?" I say, "Service was excellent." You say, "Service was excellent." Perfect. Now I want to hear from you. What food do you usually order in a restaurant? Type your answer in the comments. I'm curious about your favorite food. Now, let's move to a very common place where people practice English every day, the coffee shop. Imagine you walk in, you want coffee, you're excited, but you also feel nervous. What should you say? Don't worry, we will practice together. You walk up to the counter. The barista smiles and says, "Hi there, what can I get for you today?" This is a very common greeting. They might also say, "Hi, what would you like?" Or, "Good morning, what can I get started for you?" Now, repeat after me. I'd like a coffee, please. Great. That is polite and simple. You can also say, "Can I have a latte, please?" Or, "I'll take an iced coffee, please." Practice these three. I'd like a coffee, please. Can I have a latte, please? I'll take an iced coffee, please. Perfect. Now let's add something extra. Imagine you want your drink with less sugar. You can say, "Can I have a latte with less sugar?" Or maybe you want soy milk. You can say, "Can I have a latte with soy milk, please?" This is how you sound more natural in English. Small details make a big difference. Now, let's continue the conversation. The barista asks, "Would you like anything else?" How do you answer? You can say, "No, thank you, that's all." Or, if you want a snack, you can say, "Yes, I'd like a muffin, please." Try repeating, "No, thank you, that's all." "Yes, I'd like a muffin, please." Great work. Now, the barista tells you the price. That'll be $5. Or, your total is $5. You can respond with, "Here you go." When giving money or your card, "Thank you." And the barista will often say, "Thank you. Have a great day." You can reply, "Thanks. You too." This short and simple conversation will help you feel confident when you order in English. Now let's practice shadowing the full dialogue together. Barista, "Hi there. What can I get for you today?" You, "I'd like a coffee, please." Barista, "Would you like anything else?" You, "Yes, I'd like a muffin, please." Barista, "Your total is $5. You, "Here you go. Thank you." Barista, "Thank you. Have a great day." You, "Thanks." You too. Shadow this conversation a few times until it feels natural. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Remember, small conversations like this happen every day. When you practice them now, you'll feel calm and ready when it's real. Quick question for you. What is your favorite drink to order at a coffee shop? Write it in the comments. For example, you can write, I like cappuccino. Or I always order iced tea. I want to see your answers. And don't forget, if you are enjoying this practice, make sure to like the video and subscribe to Ms. Phuong English. That way, you'll never miss the next conversation practice. All right, now let's step outside the coffee shop. You're holding your drink, maybe a muffin too, and you need to go somewhere quickly. So, you decide to take a taxi. This is another very common situation where English is useful. Let's practice together. You wave at a taxi. The driver stops. You open the door, and the driver says, "Where to?" or "Where are you going?" Sometimes they say, "Where would you like to go?" Now, how do you answer? You can say, "Please take me to the airport," or "Can you take me to Central Park, please?" Another option, "I need to go to Main Street." Number 25. Let's shadow together. Please take me to the airport. Can you take me to Central Park, please? I need to go to Main Street. Number 25. Excellent. Now, imagine you're not sure if the driver knows the place. You can ask, "Do you know where that is?" Or, "Do you know this address?" And if the driver doesn't know, you can show them the address on your phone and say, "Here's the address." That's easy. Right. Now, sometimes you want to ask about the price before you start. You can say, "How much will it cost?" Or, "About how much is it to go there?" Shadow this with me. How much will it cost? About how much is it to go there? Great. Now, let's practice the end of the ride. The driver stops and says, "Here we are," or "We've arrived." You can say, "Thank you. How much is it?" The driver might say, "It's $15. You can reply with, "Here you go." Or if you want to give a tip, you can say, "Keep the change." And finally, you can say, "Thank you. Have a good day." The driver will usually reply, "You too." Now, let's put everything together in a full taxi conversation. Shadow with me. Driver, where to? You, please take me to the airport. Driver, sure. Do you know the fastest way? You, yes. Please take Highway 1. Driver, okay. No problem. After the ride. Driver, here we are. You, thank you. How much is it? Driver, it's $15. You, here you go. Keep the change. Driver, thank you. Have a good day. You, thanks. You too. See how smooth that sounds? With just a few simple sentences, you can manage a full taxi conversation in English. Now, I have a quick challenge for you. Imagine you are in a taxi. Where would you like to go? Write it in the comments using this sentence. Please take me to Dad, for example. Please take me to the museum. Or please take me to the train station. I want to read your sentences and see how you practice it. Also, if you're finding this lesson useful, don't forget to like the video. It really helps this channel, Ms. Phuong English, grow and reach more learners just like you. And of course, subscribe so you won't miss the next conversation practice. Now imagine this. You've just finished your taxi ride. You arrive in the city center, and you see a clothing store. Maybe you want a new shirt? Or maybe you need a jacket because the weather is cold. Let's practice shopping in English together.
When you walk into the store.
A worker usually says, "Hello, can I help you?" Or, "Hi, do you need any help today?" How do you answer if you just want to look? You can say, "I'm just looking, thank you." If you know what you want, you can say, "Yes, I'm looking for a jacket," or "I need a new pair of shoes." Let's shadow. I'm just looking, thank you. I'm looking for a jacket. I need a new pair of shoes. Excellent. Now, let's talk about sizes. The worker may ask, "What size are you?" Or, "What size do you need?" You can answer, "I need a small," "I wear a medium," "I'm a large." Shadow with me. I need a small, I wear a medium, I'm a large. Great job. Next, what if you want to try something on? You can ask, "Can I try this on?" The worker will say, "Sure. The fitting room is over there." After trying, maybe it's too big or too small. You can say, "It's too big. It's too small. It fits perfectly." Now, shadow these sentences. It's too big. It's too small. It fits perfectly. Perfect. Now let's practice paying. When you are ready, you can go to the counter and say, "I'd like to buy this, please," or simply, "I'll take this." The cashier might ask, "Cash or card?" You can answer, "Card, please," or "Cash, please." Then, the cashier may ask, "Would you like a bag?" You can say, "Yes, please," or "No, thank you." Finally, you can say, "Thank you very much." The cashier will say, "Have a nice day." Now, let's do a short shopping conversation together. Shadow with me. Worker. "Hello, can I help you?" You. "Yes, I'm looking for a jacket." Worker. "What size do you need?" You. "I wear a medium." Worker. "Here's a medium jacket. Would you like to try it on?" You. "Yes. Can I try this on?" Worker. "Of course. The fitting room is over there." After trying it on, you. "It fits perfectly." Worker. "Great. Would you like to buy it?" You. "Yes. I'll take this. Please." Cashier. "Cash or card?" You. "Card. Please." Cashier. "Would you like a bag?" You. "Yes. Please." Cashier. "Here you go. Have a nice day." You. "Thank you very much. Fantastic. Now you can shop with confidence in English. Here's a fun challenge. Go to the comments and write one thing you would buy if you were in an English-speaking country. Use this sentence. I'd like to buy sao. For example, I'd like to buy a blue dress. Or I'd like to buy a pair of shoes. I can't wait to read your answers. And hey, if you're enjoying this shopping practice, please give this video a like. It really supports Miss Puong English and helps me make more lessons for you. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next part. Now picture this. You've finished shopping, and you're hungry. You see a nice restaurant and decide to go inside. Ordering food in English is one of the most important skills you can learn. Let's practice step by step. so you feel confident the next time you eat out. When you enter the restaurant, the host or hostess usually says, "Hello, how many people?" You can answer, 1, please, 2, please, a table for 3, please, let's shadow, 1, please, 2, please, a table for 3, please. Perfect. Next, the host says, "Right this way," or "Follow me." Then you sit down and get a menu. The server comes and says, "Can I get you something to drink?" You can answer, "Water." "Please, I'd like a soda." "I'll have coffee." "Please." Now shadow with me. "Water." "Please." "I'd like a soda." "I'll have coffee." "Please." Great job. Now, when you are ready to order food, the server might say, "Are you ready to order?" You can answer, "Yes." "I'd like the chicken." "Please." Or, "I'll have the pasta." If you need more time, just say, "Not yet." "Please." "A few more minutes." Shadow with me. "Yes." "I'd like the chicken." "Please." "I'll have the pasta." "Not yet." "Please." "A few more minutes." Very good. Sometimes you may want to ask a question. For example, what do you recommend? Does this come with rice? Is it spicy? Can I have it without onions? These are very useful sentences. Let's shadow. What do you recommend? Does this come with rice? Is it spicy? Can I have it without onions? Perfect. Now, when the food arrives, the server says, "Here you go. Enjoy your meal." You can reply, "Thank you." And when you finish eating, the server may ask, "Was everything okay?" You can say, "Yes, it was delicious," or "It was very good. Thank you. Now it's time to pay." You can say, "Can I have the check, please?" Or, "Check, please." Shadow with me. "Can I have the check, please?" Check, please. When the bill comes, you can pay with cash or card. Then you can say, "Thank you very much," and the server will say, "Have a great day." Now, let's do a full restaurant conversation together. Shadow with me. Host. "Hello, how many people?" You, 2. "Please." Host. "Right this way." Server. "Can I get you something to drink?" You, "Water." "Please." Server. "Are you ready to order?" You, "Yes." "I'd like the chicken, please." Server. "Would you like rice with that?" You, "Yes, please." After the meal, server. "Was everything okay?" You, "Yes, it was delicious." You, "Can I have the check, please?" Server. "Of course. Here you go." You, "Thank you very much." Server. "Have a great day." Fantastic. Now you can confidently order food in English. Here's a fun challenge. Go to the comments and write what you would order if you were in a restaurant right now. Use this sentence, "I'd like, please." For example, "I'd like pizza, please." Or "I'd like soup, please." And if you're enjoying this practice, please like this video. It really supports Miss Puang English and helps me make more lessons for you. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the final part. Now, Let's bring everything together. You've practiced greetings, coffee shop conversations, taxis, shopping, and eating at a restaurant. In this final part, we will live a full day in English, step by step. You will shadow along, and it will feel like you are really in an English-speaking country. Ready? Let's begin. You wake up in the morning. You meet your neighbor outside. Neighbor. Good morning. How are you today? You. Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you. How about you? Neighbor. I'm good. Have a nice day. You. Thanks. You too. Now, you walk to a coffee shop. Barista. Good morning. What can I get for you today? You. I'd like a medium latte. Please. Barista, anything to eat? You. Yes. I'll have a muffin. Barista, sure. That will be $5. You. Here you go. Barista, thank you. Have a nice day. You. Thanks. You too. After coffee, you take a taxi. Driver. Where to? You. Please take me to the city center. Driver. Sure. Do you know the fastest way? You. Yes. Please take Highway 1. Driver. Okay. No problem. After the ride? Driver. Here we are. You. Thank you. How much is it? Driver. It's $10. You. Here you go. Keep the change. Driver. Thank you. Have a good day. You too. Now, you arrive at a clothing store. Worker. Hello. Can I help you? You. Yes. I'm looking for a jacket. Worker. What size do you need? You. I wear a medium. Worker. Here you go. Would you like to try it on? You. Yes. Please. After trying it on, you. It fits perfectly. Worker. Great. Would you like to buy it? You. Yes. I'll take this. Please. Cashier. Cash or card?
You.
Card. Please. Cashier. Would you like a bag? You. Yes. Please. Cashier. Here you go. Have a nice day. You. Thank you very much. After shopping, you feel hungry, so you go to a restaurant. Host. Hello. How many people? You. 1. Please. Host. Right this way. Server. Can I get you something to drink? You. Water. Please. Server. Are you ready to order?
You.
Yes. I'd like the chicken. Please. Server. Would you like rice with that? You. Yes. Please. After the meal. Server. Was everything okay? You. Yes. It was delicious. You. Can I have the check? Please. Server. Of course. Here you go. You. Thank you very much. Server. Have a great day. Congratulations. You just lived a full day in English. From morning greetings, to coffee, to taking a taxi, to shopping, and finally eating in a restaurant, you practiced it all. Now here's a special challenge. In the comments, write a short story about your dream day in English. Use at least 3 sentences you learned today. For example, I'd like a latte. Please take me to the airport. Yes, I'll take this. Please, I'll read your stories, and maybe I'll share some of them in a future video. Remember, the key to fluency is practice. The more you shadow, the faster your English will improve. Even 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. If you enjoyed this full day in English, please give this video a like. It helps Miss Puang English grow and reach more learners all around the world. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss more shadowing lessons, stories, and challenges. Thank you for spending this time with me today. You are doing an amazing job. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and remember, every word you speak is progress. This is Miss Puang English, and I'll see you in the next video.